when you are the world champions, you have that certain look. It's not something you can learn. It's something you acquire through greatness. And throughout this series, the Detroit Pistons have shown the Portland Trailblazers what greatness is all about. And the backcourt, they are proving to be the best guards this side of Buckingham Palace. When the Trailblazers brought this series to their home court, it was expected they would dominate. Instead, they learned very quickly how fast things can fall apart. If Detroit has the look of champions, Portland has the look of frustration. And now, down 3 games to 1, they are looking at summer vacation. Since they began playing professional basketball, only 2 franchises have repeated as champions. And the headline Detroit is looking for tomorrow has 3 words: back to back. The rugged beauty of the Pacific Northwest has been the backdrop for this leg of the NBA Finals. Everywhere you look, there's a snapshot. And it's not easy taking care of the land, but they do it with pride and distinction here. And when they say this is Blazer country, they mean it. The land they are protecting tonight is right there, the Portland Memorial Coliseum. The Portland Trailblazers arrived here tonight hoping upon hope that they can get back into the series. It's not embarrassing, but it sure is serious being down 3 games to 1. On the other side, the faces of the Detroit Pistons. They arrived 3 games to 1 up, and before the game they pledged to get the job done tonight, and somewhere inside this building they have champagne on ice. And so welcome to the 1990 NBA Finals, Game 5 between the Detroit Pistons and the Portland Trailblazers. And good evening, everybody. I'm Pat O'Brien. Well, here it is, the first championship trophy of the 1990s, and the way Detroit is playing, this could be gracing their trophy case in no time. There are 3 games left in this series, and all the Pistons have to do is win 1 before they hold this thing over their heads. Portland is in trouble. There's no kind way to say it. No team has ever come back from this deficit, and all the Trailblazers have to hang their hats on is that perhaps they can be the team to make finals history. And with that, let's hear from the coach, who is standing by right now with James Brown. JB?
All right, Patrick, and I'm sure Rick Adelman is counting on that. And, Rick, despite the 3-1 disadvantage, you guys have pushed Detroit to its limits. You've reached deep into your coaching bag. Any tactics left at all?
No, I don't think so. I think what we have to do is just do things better over a consistent game. We've had dry periods in the games that cost us wins, and we know we could easily be up 3-1 rather than down 3-1, but that's where it's at. We know that's how it is in the playoffs. We had the good fortune of being ahead in the other playoffs, so we're going to go out and try to play our game better over 48 minutes.
Rick, you've been here as a player. You understand what inspirational speeches work and which ones don't. Did you have an inspirational speech this evening, or were words necessary?
I don't think they were necessary today. We had a good talk yesterday. If I gave any type of speech, it was yesterday at practice, and we talked about just spending the next 24 hours getting ready for this game, and I looked at the players today, and they seem to be ready, and tonight they seem very ready. So I think we all know where we're at, and we got to win this game or our season's over. We think if we can take it one more step, who knows what might happen.
Best to you.
Thank you very much.
All right, as we get ready to go back upstairs to Pat, you might be interested to note that when I talked to the players in the locker room, they all said, JB, we'll see you in Detroit on Sunday. Let's go back upstairs to Pat.
All right, JB, thank you. Now, if you are a Portland fan, turn away from your set and plug your ears, because I'm going to show you a graphic about what this down 3-1 means. In the history of sports, only 6 teams have come back in a best-of-7 series being down 3-1. 5 in the World Series, 1 in the Stanley Cup, and none in the NBA. Isaiah Thomas has exploded in this series and is playing like a man possessed. And his motivation is to be just like his best friend, whose name is Magic Johnson.
Having him to shoot at makes me that much better. If he wasn't there, not only as a friend, but as a competitor to shoot at, I don't know if I would have gotten all out of myself that I think I've gotten. Having to compete against him has definitely made me a much, much better player. it's like we all strive to be like perfect. You know, when you go in, you're practicing, you want to be like a perfect basketball player because that's the only reason why you're practicing.
Have gathered to watch television, folks. They paid a few dollars each to go in there and support their team on the big screen there, and it says live on CBS, and all our fans there, welcome to the game. We hear you fine out here in Portland. Back at the Memorial Coliseum, they've got some business to do as well, and let's go down to the PA announcer now, and here's Pat Lafferty.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Memorial Coliseum for the 1990 NBA Finals. And now, the starting lineups for Game 5 between the Detroit Pistons and your Portland Trailblazers. First, for the Eastern Conference champion Detroit Pistons. At forward, in his 9th season from DePaul, number 23, Mark Aguirre. At forward, in his 13th season from the University of Washington, number 53, James Edwards. Starting at center, his 10th season from Notre Dame, number 40, Bill Laimbeer. At guard, in his 5th season from McNeese State, number 4, Joe Dumars. At guard, in his 9th season from Indiana, number 11, Isaiah Thomas. And the coach of the Pistons in his 7th season, Chuck Daly. And now, for your Western Conference champion, Portland Trailblazers! At forward in his 6th season from Longwood College, number 25, Jerome Kersey. At forward in his 9th season from Maryland, number 52, Buck Williams. Starting at center, his 4th season from Eastern Illinois, number 00, Kevin Duckworth. At guard in his 5th season from Wisconsin Stevens Point, number 30, Terry Porter. At guard, Drexler. And the coach of the Trailblazers in his 2nd season, Rick Adelman.
Well, one thing is for sure, this Portland crowd is here in force, and they have not given up on their Trailblazers, who trail 3-1. Right now, let's send you over to James Brown.
All right, Dick, as you just indicated, Dennis Rodman will not be starting for the Pistons tonight, but he will be playing some major minutes. Now, that's not what Chuck Daly would prefer. He'd like Rodman to rest on that sore left ankle and be used only as an emergency substitute. But Rodman has been lobbying all week long to the Pistons brain trust saying, fellas, I don't feel like I've contributed to this 3-1 advantage in any major way. I must play. He's supported by the doctors. He said his ankle is as good as it's ever been since the finals started. So with the floating bone chips and all, Rodman wants to rock, roll, and play tonight. Let's get back over to that.
Thank you, James Brown. And the officials working this game number 5, Darryl Garretson, Jack Madden, and Ed T. Rush. They only lost 6 all year, the Trailblazers, in the regular season. Now the Pistons have inflicted 3 losses, or 2 losses in this series, trying to make it 3. Edwards and Duckworth jumping, controlled by the Trailblazers.
Well, let's see if they'll establish something down inside low early.
Duckworth, that's exactly what they're doing, and he puts the Blazers in front.
They've got to keep Duckworth happy in the early part of the game, Dick. He has the ability to get off, get the club off, feeling a lot of confidence, get the double team, and then hit the outside shooting.
Here's James Edwards. The Pistons like to get him early, but Laimbeer hits from outside to tie the score. Portland wants the pace up-tempo, Detroit the other way around.
Games 1 and 2, they would start off right there with Puck going strong to the basket.
And a loose ball foul has been called against Duckworth, who has been in foul trouble throughout most of this series.
You know, it's uncharacteristic for them to be playing a team for any set period of time where they cannot dominate them on their own offensive boards. Detroit has completely frustrated them by holding them to one shot.
Jimmy mentioned Thomas, Dumars, and Johnson combined for 78 points in Game 4. James Edwards. And the rebound by Drexler, and we'll have a foul called against the Pistons. And it will be against Joe Dumars.
Anytime that Drexler is down in the post-up position, he has a scoring height advantage, and he also can help you on the boards, where he's one of their premier rebounders.
He leads with 12 offensive rebounds, despite playing the guard post. Porter with a pass into Buck Williams. Couldn't handle it, and a turnover. Aguirre has it for the Pistons.
In close quarters, Dick, you should try to bounce past the ball in a situation like that. In the NBA, the players are so big that the player that's open cannot see the pass.
Pistons' strategy is to come out aggressively against the Trailblazers. Aguirre, who struggled from the field in the last game, misses. And a jump ball, and Aguirre's right in the middle of it.
Here we have a loose ball. Now you'll see the nice move by Kersey. You see, Detroit is not afraid to go on the floor for anything which is loose, and they've been right up front in games 3 and 4 with that.
Jerome Kersey and Mark Aguirre jump. It's controlled by the Blazers, and they're going to jump again, according to Jack Madden. Both of these teams won 59 games in the regular season and split when they played each other. Kersey. He's having a terrific series coming off a 33-point game.
Well, you know, he's been over 29 about 4 or 5 times. He's definitely established himself at that small forward position as something to worry about.
Dumars in the crowd, double team. Thomas is open. Here's Aguirre trying to get the shooting eye and hits a 3. His 4th of the series, and the Pistons lead by 1.
That's not a surprise, because next to Isaiah, Mark Aguirre is the best three-point shooter percentage-wise.
Jump trap and a turnover and a foul called against Porter, I believe. Let's see if it is Porter. It is. That was a quick jump trap with Edwards coming into the play to help Thomas.
Well, defensively, Detroit will always change up on you. They are trying not to give you the same look in any 2 quarters. Now, we haven't seen them trap on the wing before, but it definitely fooled Terry Porter.
Here's Edwards. Rebound Kersey. A little more than 2.5 minutes elapsed in period 1 of game number 5. Porter beats Drexler. Kersey and Drexler, a 2-man gang, in round number 4.
Well, in the early going, Porter has been able to beat Isaiah off the dribble and get down in there and make some nice passes.
Changing hands, Isaiah Thomas misses. Here's Kersey. And now Drexler, open court for Clyde. Fouled by Isaiah Thomas.
This is the type of game that you want to see from Portland. You want to see them force the turnover, get the rebound, and then get it up quickly. Now, here you have Porter. Now, watch as he splits, gets down inside. As soon as the double team comes, he's able to give it off to Drexler. Once again, we want to emphasize getting it to the big men. If you put it down on the floor, it's a lot easier for them to see it.
Big series for Clyde Drexler. There are many who said he was overrated, but he proved those people wrong as he raised the level of his play in this NBA final.
Well, he's been rewarded for the season by being picked on the 3rd-team All-NBA, along with Joe Dumars at the guard position.
Here's Portland's trap. Not the full one we saw the other night that helped bring him back. Edwards fouled, and the basket will count as well.
That's the first time in the series, Dick, where we've seen them go to a 3-2, like it's a matchup half-court trap. And by that, any time that Detroit will come over half-court, they'll use Kersey, who's in the middle of it, as the double-teamer. We should be watching that as the first half goes on.
Foul is on Buck Williams. 13th foul against Portland. Edwards, who has struggled from the line, misses here.
See, once again, he faded back on his foul shot, and they're trying to get him to stand up and follow through.
Duckworth and Lane Beer makes a fine steal on the pass. That's the third turnover. Isaiah Thomas, and it goes through. So Isaiah gives the Pistons a 2-point lead. Shooting is good for both sides. Here's the trap. McGuire was doubling Porter. Porter hits a three.
Well, for Terry Porter, that's only his fourth three in this series. He's 4 for 17, where in series 2 and 3 during the playoffs, he's been able to really hit that one consistently.
McGuire working against Buck Williams. And Duckworth made him change his shot. Might have even deflected it a bit. Blazers coming down, leading by 1. Great pass to Kersey. Comes out to Porter, loses the ball to Dumars, and it's a 2-on-1 right now. Kersey in it. And McGuire will be called for charging as the trailer.
Excellent defense by Jerome Kersey. They had a 2-on-1, then it became a 3-on-1. Kersey hustled back. Now you'll see it right here. Now there he is, an excellent move by Jerome taking the charge that time. They've got to force some turnovers today, Dick, to get more shot opportunities. And let's hope that when they get to this end of the floor that they protect the basketball a little bit better than what we're seeing in the early going.
Now Edwards is on Duckworth.
Nice.
Great move. You wonder why he can't do that every time down.
Well, you know, they're not double teaming. They're having Edwards playing man-to-man, and he's showing you a number of moves.
Lead is 3 for the Trailblazers. Dumars gets by Drexler beautifully, but Buck Williams is there defending. It is still Pistons ball with a full clock.
See right here, you'll see watch Duck as he makes his move here. Now watch up and under, gets a defensive man to commit, step underneath him, soft cut. He has beautiful hands. And by that I mean soft hands.
Soft can be beautiful, and they are in his case. Just under 7 minutes to go in the first.
Two-man game here.
Double team on Edwards. Dwyer does not make the pass. Lane Beer, quick shot from the corner off the side of the backboard. Kersey tries to save it and does to Drexler nicely.
Okay, Kersey is everywhere in the early going.
He struggled the first 2 games, but has picked it up the last 2. Duckworth in great position, and Lane Beer gets a deflection and blocks it out of bounds. Good play by Lane Beer.
See, Lane Beer is looking to help everyone out here. Now watch once the ball goes over. There you had Duckworth just pop Lane Beer right in the face with a forearm. But how about that for not losing your concentration? Lane Beer recovered, came right back, and got the shot blocked.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Keepers Charity Shield will take place during...
Rock and roll is okay, but I prefer rap.
Awesome. Wait a second. Shady Acres was supposed to get the Coke, and the frat house was supposed to get the Pepsi.
Coke, Pepsi, what's the difference?
I-24.
This is radical.
To a young family like the Holstons, buying a house is a pretty major investment. Luckily, it's an investment they can protect. I'm State Farm Agent Greg Lemansky. Al and Holly had a lot of questions about homeowners insurance. We discussed them all, and State Farm had the answers, plus the coverage and a price that made them feel comfortable. That's a big part of our Good Neighbor service, helping people feel comfortable with their insurance.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Did you know that only 1-800 service automatically covers you if something keeps you from getting calls? With AT&T, you're always protected by our 800 assurance policy. Within 1 hour, we can reroute 800 calls to any working phone and any other office, guaranteed. Reliability, another AT&T advantage. Call now for our special 800 offer.
Ever do much hunting, Joel?
Only on the Lower East Side, for bargains.
They are getting excellent results. Already in this early going, in 10 offensive trips, everything has been below the foul line.
Portland's out-rebounded Detroit 7-1. They've been out-rebounded, the Blazers have, in this series overall. Drexler from the corner. Drexler has 5. Duckworth 4.
That's such a tough shot to block because Clyde gets up so high and then he has the ability to fade back on the release.
Porter is guarding Thomas. Laimbeer setting a screen. Thomas with a bounce pass picked off by Duckworth, and they're going to call the foul against James Edwards. And that'll be 3 team fouls for both clubs in the first.
Give the big fella some credit, moving his feet down in there. Duckworth, nice defense, anticipated the pass, as well as stopped the penetration by Isaiah.
The lead is 5. Shooting percentage, wide disparity. Clearing out for Porter against Thomas. Duckworth lost it. Plenty of time on the shot clock, though. Porter with a baseline. Air ball of Wire out to Thomas. Blazers back defensively. Isaiah goes around person. Block shot. Still has it. Sound hearing the Portland defense, Ruby.
They're doing an excellent job.
Thomas missing outside. Rebound Drexler. Outlet quickly to Porter. He's got Kersey and Duckworth.
He never gave the ball up.
Buck Williams out of bounds. Pistons ball.
See, if he would have given the basketball up and got the ball into the middle of the floor to Kersey, they had a 3-on-1 situation. But by keeping it, the defenders came back and they were able to negate the advantage.
Detroit has missed its last 5 shots from the field, trailing by 5. Thomas from the corner.
Oh.
Remember the corner shot the other night that gave them the lead for good, huh?
Well, they're changing up right now. They're having Joe Dumars run the point guard, and Isaiah is running all of the 2-guard maneuvering off the baseline area.
Porter gets free inside. They're going to call Laimbeer with the push.
Good call.
Crowd loves that. It'll be the first on Bill.
Nice passing, inside passing now. Portland is delivering the ball to the guys for the shot opportunity. Laimbeer that time definitely bumped Porter below the waist.
Porter had hit 35 in a row in the playoffs before he missed. Still has missed only 2 free throws.
Well, you know, when you talk to their coaching staff, when they talk about Terry Porter, you'll see that his, you know, the three-point shooting is down. He's only 3 for 16, and his playoff shooting is down. But you got to give credit to Isaiah Thomas for that. But when you talk to the coaching staff at Portland, they'll tell you Terry Porter is banged up. He has a sore Achilles, but you know he's giving it all he has every night. Plus, he's matched up with Isaiah.
An underrated defender, according to Rick Adelman. By the way, Porter now has 4 three-point baskets, including tonight. 9 on the shot clock. Edwards working against Duckworth, does it beautifully, working baseline.
Well, we've seen both pivot men pull off the same play. The fake jump shot up and under.
Duckworth got free, misses the layup. Drexler found him, though. Drexler's making some great passes in this series.
See, anytime that you're a big player and you have a chance to dunk the ball when your opponent gambles, you should do that to demoralize them and discourage them from doing that again.
Porter picks off the pass. Thomas intended for Dumars. Drexler. Thomas the rebound. The lead is 3 for the Trailblazers with just under 4 minutes to go in the first period. Oh, Thomas all the way in. Beautiful play by Isaiah. He's got 6.
Isaiah has run a stumbled dribble twice today at the top by the 3-point line, and both times blew by the defender.
Off the hands of Drexler, another turnover.
Look out here.
Thomas releasing.
Oh,
and it's now 17-16, the Pistons. Isaiah picking up where he left off. Buck Williams, who really needs a good game to come up to the level, powers in.
Now, Bill Laimbeer cried for the delay of game right there. Buck Williams was annoyed because he thought he was fouled by Laimbeer as he took that ball to the basket. You know, in game 1 and 2, Dick, they would give that to Buck out on the wing, and Buck would take Laimbeer off the dribble. We have not seen that in games 3 and 4.
You're right. You're right. Edwards wants Duckworth to pick up another foul. He got him too far out. Good defense by Duckworth that
The
time.
reason why James Edwards keeps turning to the baseline is because that way they cannot double team him if they should want to.
Mark Aguirre moved his leg in, and that'll be the second personal against Aguirre, but now the Pistons are in the penalty. John Sally will check in for Detroit. Danny Young will come in at point guard for the Trailblazers. We also have Dennis Rodman coming in. He played just 1 minute in game number 4 in the closing seconds of the contest. His ankle's feeling a lot better. Suffered the sprained ankle early. Here's Wayne Cooper. And Duckworth will lead.
By bringing Rodman into the game, Chuck Daly told me earlier, he said that what they want to do is find out how much he can contribute, and let's have him find out early in the ballgame.
Danny Young will wait till the next dead ball because he will replace Porter at the free throw line now.
Porter has been a real spark in the first 9 minutes here. Excellent penetration. Now here we have a 2-2-1. It looks like a little half-court trap. All they're trying to do is get Detroit out of their sets. Excuse me?
Well, that set wasn't too bad, QB, as Dennis Rodman drove baseline and looked like he was elevating nicely. 20-19 Portland, first period.
Plenty of time, 10 seconds.
Rodman is guarding Kersey. Kersey fires up a 3. Buck Williams gets the offensive rebound. That's the Trailblazers' style of the season. And an offensive foul called against Portland.
Down on Kersey and Dennis Rodman in a collision down there. Both guys are fighting so hard for the offensive or defensive rebound.
Kersey picks up that foul, number 1 for him.
Detroit TV program, usually involving the guests of the opposite team. Now, as one of the most dapper coaches in the league, you might think it takes forever to look resplendent as he always does. But hey, folks, try 7 to 9 minutes later only, and Chuck Daly looking resplendent in his battle fatigue that we understand are reinforced in the seat of his pants. But hey, Chuck Daly seldom ever is coaching by the seat of his pants. And as we go back to Hubie Brown, Dennis Rodman got some kind of warm greeting from Jerome Kersey, huh, Hubie?
This is a battle. Anytime you have Rodman and Kersey. Now keep an eye on Dennis Rodman's arm. You see how it's locked right there? Now watch Kersey. He throws him. Now that's fine, except Harold Garrison, head of the officials, right on top of the play.
Kersey is appealing to Ed Rush. Portland also throwing a couple of turnovers the last 3 minutes, which has contributed to the fact that their 5-point lead has virtually evaporated. Open is Joe Dumars, has time to didn't hit the top. Rebound by Cooper. 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. And another turnover, and that'll be 7. Vinnie Johnson's going to come in the ball game. He has really come alive in the last 2 games with 21 and 20 points respectively after scoring only 4 points in the first 2 games.
He's pick and roll basketball here.
Sally rolling to the hoop, nothing doing. Thomas scoops it, and he's getting a lot of those rim shots that finally drop.
But he's the best. He's the smallest guy in this game at 6'1". He's totally fearless. He gets in the lane, makes it happen. But when he leaves his feet, he's thinking score all the time.
Kersey going in the lane. Rebound by Labier, outlet pass, and it could be a 3-on-2 break now for the Pistons. Sally with a rare jump shot for him. Now you see why. Rebound Cooper.
Well, I think that Portland would take that one anytime Sally and Rodman are on the break and they're trying to handle a basketball, you know, and end up with a jump shot with still 20 seconds on his shot clock. That's to their advantage.
Here's Cooper running the key. Cooper has scored only 7 points in 4 games.
Yeah, but throughout his career, 11-year veteran, he's known for his shot blocking and rebounding, but he has always been able to hit the jump shot at the top of the circle, especially when he was with Denver.
Here's Vinnie Johnson. Misses his first shot. He hit his first 2 the other night. But a foul against the Trailblazers. That'll be their 14th foul. And second against Buck Williams.
See, one thing you must observe while checking Lambier's game. Anytime that a shot goes up and he's down on the base, you'll see he'll go behind the backboard, and then he comes out with his back into your chest, and he just pushes you out. And if you don't watch it, you get exasperated, and you go right up over the top of him or maybe push for an offensive foul.
Cliff Robinson, the rookie and the second-round pick from Connecticut, replaces Buck Williams, who goes out with 2 fouls. Under a minute to go, 14 on the shot clock for the Pistons. Thomas will fire for a 3 and hit it, and Isaiah Thomas now with 13 points in the first quarter.
How about the fact that he's 9 for 14 in threes in this series so far?
A big game player if you ever saw one. Robinson, misses the layup. And it's Cliff Robinson who's alert to get the loose ball.
Take their time.
They did. Drexler threw up a 3. They could have played for the last shot of the quarter. Now Detroit can.
See, they had that loose ball with 17 seconds to go. You should have held for the last shot.
Isaiah Thomas off the glass, and Detroit with its biggest lead of this first quarter. And time runs out. It will not count if it goes. And Isaiah Thomas, once again, trying to make a big statement for MVP honors, 15 points. And that is the end of the first period, with the Pistons leading 26-22. There's what he's done, 7 of 9 from the field and a 3-point basket as well. Portland had a 5-point lead, but they missed a lot of shots, turned it over, and Isaiah got hot. Start of the second period, James Edwards in there for Detroit. Offensive foul called against Rodman. That'll be his first.
See, that time Rodman set the pick, but he moved before the defensive man had a chance to move, and he had a collision. Offensive foul. Excellent. Now here's Portland. They've been doing an excellent job below the foul line, Dick, but they're missing too many easy shots that should be automatic scores.
Illegal defense against Detroit. John Sally was roaming where he shouldn't have been.
See, with this group out on the floor for Portland, Drexler can take advantage of Vinnie Johnson anytime on movement coming across into the low post area. Vinnie just cannot play him down in there, like right here.
We'll see how many times now they triple teamed him, leaving Danny Young open for a 3, and he burns them.
See, this is a team that relies on catching the pass in the low post and pitching it out for a 3, getting a second shot opportunity and passing it out for a 3.
Both teams shooting under 50%. No surprise in this series. Pistons by 1. Thomas feels he can beat Danny Young in his own right. Edwards has it knocked away. Here's a 3-on-2 break. Cooper.
Great block.
Percy finally puts it in after Vinnie Johnson made a great block on Cooper.
What a play by Vinnie. But, you know, it's nice to see Portland not assuming that he was going to make that shot, continue to crash, and get the second shot opportunity.
Hey, that's their style when they won the 59 games. Edwards hemmed in by Cooper. And they're going to finally call Coop with the foul, but Portland has scored the first 5 points of this quarter.
Now keep an eye to the right of your screen here as Cooper goes down. Watch Vinnie Johnson. Look at that shot. The ball did not get up above the rim. And here's good following up. 2 second shot opportunities.
Well, you talked about what kind of a rebounding guard Vinnie is. Not surprising he can do that as well. Runs into a double team.
See, Vinnie's got a sore knee.
He's hurt. He's got the hyperextended knee, and he's limping.
Duck's going to his bench, getting Joe Dumars ready.
Thomas has it stripped from behind, and with 2 seconds to go, that's how much time the Pistons will have. Vinnie goes out, and Dumars is in, but this is a big problem for Detroit right here.
Now, right now, you have to look, you only have 2 seconds on the shot clock. Watch for a lob to the front of the rim.
Sally to Edwards, doesn't know the clock is running out. But an offensive board by Isaiah Thomas. Here's Edwards. James Edwards with 6 points now. Nearly 2 minutes gone by in the second period.
When you think of all the offensive rebounding by Detroit, it's just incredible how many times it's Isaiah and Vinnie Johnson.
Drexler strong to the basket. Cooper backs it off.
I think Cooper's in there hustling. He's getting his hands on a lot of balls.
You're right. He's looking the best he's looked in this final. Thomas for 3. Does he have it? Isaiah Thomas. 18 points already for Thomas.
I mean, good grief.
And again, Detroit matching its biggest lead. Edwards blocks inside. And here come the Pistons. Sally, not a good ball handler, loses his footing and is called for traveling.
Good call.
And now Jack Madden has changed it to a kick.
Excellent call by Jack Madden. He was tripped as he went down in there. There's no doubt about that call.
We'll have a timeout. It wasn't the most graceful foray by Sally, but he was definitely tripped. Time Hills, 21,000 plus watching on the big screen. Game number 5 of the finals. They want to see their team win it tonight. That's their first choice. Second choice would be coming home to do it, but this is the hidden heroes, the front court rebounding against the top rebounding team in the NBA this year, the Blazers. Those are Detroit's advantages in all the games off the board.
Well, you know, when you look at that stat, Dick, you say to yourself, this is a team that scored 114 points during the season. Detroit is holding them to 100.
Has been applied to Vinnie Johnson's left knee as he limped off before. He left the game without scoring. Terry Porter is checked back in for the Blazers. He'll be the off guard now because Young is the guard. Pick and roll perfection by the Pistons there with Edwards.
See, the Pistons are reading the trap real well right now. They're making the pass, but the guy who is rolling is going right to the front of the rim to make himself available.
Duckworth came in the game along with Porter. Open, good touch for Duckworth, and he delivers again.
Well, if Porter will overcome the fact that they have had 5 opportunities for dunks, and they're 0 for 5, you know, they could be out in front of this ballgame.
Thomas off the screen.
Wow,
he is on fire. 20 points already for Thomas, coming off a 32-point game. He scored 33 in the first game of the series, don't forget.
See, Danny Young can't play him any better. He's right up on top of him.
Ball knocked away as Young.
Young got hurt.
He got hurt, too. Kersey goes up, and they're going to call the jump ball. He was tied up. Meanwhile, Vinnie Johnson apparently is all right. He's coming back in for the Pistons.
Better watch out now.
That's the last thing the Pistons need, and last thing Rodman needs, who wants to play.
Well, see, Rodman wanted the spot right in front of the basket. Once the player takes that position, you just cannot come over and knock him off. Now watch, see, here's what happens. See, Rodman is pushing Cliff Robinson. He's not going to take that from Rodman, and he wouldn't take that in Detroit now. Never mind here at home.
Danny Young limped off, by the way. Drexler has replaced him.
See, that's a loss for them because Danny Young is an excellent defensive player. He moves the basketball. He's a good three-point threat, and he keeps everyone happy with ball distribution. In this series, Detroit has been excellent in cutting off taps that Portland has won.
Thomas against Kersey. Thomas didn't even jump. Porter misses a 3. Rebound inside by Kersey, and they're going to call the loose ball foul against the Pistons. John Sally.
You see now on this shot attempt, keep an eye on the glass. Right down here. Here it is right here. And you'll see it. Boom. There's the crash. You know, Sally coming over. Sally and Rodman will take fouls.
Drexler has it stripped away by Thomas. Goes right by Porter, looking for a teammate. Can't find one, and Vinnie Johnson hurdles the ball in the crowd and joins them to an extent.
Great steal by Isaiah. Terrific transition defense by Portland by getting back.
You'll be to get a feeling that the Blazers, as a team, made a pact that they're going to crash the boards. They look like terrors off both glass so far.
Well, they're doing an excellent job, but we know that Detroit is going to hold it off, and they'll send you a message every so often with some physical play, even if they should lose the rebound. Now, this is what we expect to see right here.
Thomas intercepts it. Edwards has it. Young, by the way, banged his knee. They expected he'll be back. Posting up is Edwards against Duckworth. James Edwards. Rodman with a follow-up. Tipped up again, Sally, I believe. Or is it Rodman? I thought Sally. And it is Sally. batted down, and a foul against Vinnie Johnson over the top.
See, if they're going to post up Drexler, they've got to do a better job passing him the ball. Now, here's the shot as it goes. And watch Sally come into your screen. Rodman first, and now Sally, they keep it alive, and then he comes right back with the tap.
There's the offensive rebounding story. Portland with a slim margin. Isaiah Thomas goes out, having scored 20, replaced by Dumars. And Buck Williams is back for Portland. Buck is playing with 2 personals, by the way. Dumars trying to stay with Porter. Duckworth. Buck Williams with another offensive rebound. Duckworth ducking in again as he hit on the other side against Edwards.
Well, see, Edwards is determined to block his shot. Now, you know, Duckworth is showing us that he has 4 excellent moves, and he is very ginger around the board. He'll allow you to make your commitment and step through you.
Loop it into Sally. He's got Drexler on him. Throws the ball away. 3-on-2 break. Buck Williams lays it, misses it.
Tell you, that's their 6th layup opportunity, Dick. 6.
They have missed a bunch inside. You're right. Porter. Fouled by Vinnie Johnson, his second. 3rd team foul against Detroit. This is a rugged game number 5 we're witnessing.
Terry Porter has been outstanding. Right from the opening get-go, he's been going hard to the basket, creating for other players and himself.
The spectacular Earl the Pearl Monroe leads the Bullets against the NBA champion Knicks in Game 7 of the 1971 Eastern Finals in New York. Dick Barnett explodes for 11 straight points in the first half. But it's Monroe who puts Baltimore ahead late in the 4th quarter. And when the Knicks' last attempt falls short, the Bullets celebrate a 2-point close shave victory.
Your role. We don't care who scores as long as we get the W, and we'll go to the people who are hot night in and night out. And then he underlines it by saying, and you better accept that and accept your role if you expect to play.
You remember the problems Portland had when they went to their bench in the last game. They're staying with all of their starters right now. Bill Laimbeer has come back in for Detroit. Double team, leaving Buck Williams open. Robinson chips it to Laimbeer. Rodman's made a difference so far.
Yes, he has. And we're not talking just from the defensive standpoint. We're talking about the fact that he's keeping a lot of balls alive for other people to pick up either defensively or offensively.
Nice. Vinnie Johnson, hard off the glass. Detroit had a mismatch going there because they had a guard on Laimbeer. Rodman on Duckworth. Duckworth now with 10 points to lead the Blazers.
He has an excellent game from 15 out to 18 feet. He knocks that one down with a high rate of, a high percentage rate.
Had the broken hand in the 6 games in the semifinal series.
Well, this is one-on-1. Now he calls for the pick and roll.
Duckworth picking up Dumars. Now they go back. Vinnie Johnson doesn't have the eye like he did in the last 2 games. Claimed he was fouled, gets no respect on that. Memorial Coliseum in Portland, the scene of Game 5 of the NBA Finals. Portland trying to stay alive. Rodman blocks it out of bounds, and right now trailing the Pistons by 4.
See, that's Detroit's 4th block in this first half, all on penetration off the dribble.
Kersey. Laimbeer with his 5th rebound. About 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Portland shooting only 35% in this quarter.
Vinnie Johnson down on the baseline.
Boy, Kersey is guarding him and just denying him all the way. Sally hits the jumper. He'll still keep going to it.
Well, he likes that little baseline jumper halfway out to the corner. What they should do is make him put the ball down on the floor.
Rodman picks up Porter on the switch. Here's Duckworth. He's been hot from there and remains so with 12 points.
The reason why he keeps opening up is that Bill Laimbeer is looking to help out. Double team anyone off the dribble or in the post area, and Duckworth is now sliding to the open area of the court.
Crowd on its feet now. Looking for the defensive play. Well, Dumars misses. Out of bounds, and it's last touched by the Blazers. Not sure. It might have been Williams.
Well, they put the ball down on the floor that time off the dribble, and it went right off of one of their own players, the foot, right out of bounds.
Sally. And it's going to be Portland ball as John stepped on the line trying to save that one. You know, the Trailblazers have 8 offensive rebounds. They're trademarked, but have put back just 1 for a basket.
Yeah, they're only 4 points down in this game. You consider how many layups that they could have made with a dunking and a strong move. See, right here.
Lane Beer. That'll be a second. And the 4th team foul against Detroit.
You'll see now watch Lampier now down inside. See, he grabbed on first, and then Duckworth cleared him away with the forearm. The referee caught the first move.
King of flop.
Well, Lampier says, listen, anytime I hear the whistle blow, I know that I've committed a foul. And he said, I can't do anything about it. The key is don't lose your composure and stay tunnel vision and know what's happening out here.
Just under 4 minutes to go in the first half. Bad pass by Kersey. Pistons by 4. Portland led by 5 in the first quarter. Detroit had a 6-point lead in this period. Kersey is on Dumars. Lane Beer is wide open. And a foul. It'll be the 3rd team foul against the Blazers. Beautiful sky here, and sunset isn't until about 9 o'clock, I think, Pacific time. Kind of a late sunset, and it's beautiful. Thomas is back in along with Rodman for the Pistons.
Just shoot it out on the floor. You know, you have Isaiah and Lampier become, you know, 2 of your main scorers here, or Dumars coming off a baseline pick.
Thomas, the double team, misses. There's Dumars on the other side. Beat Kersey to the ball. And a whistle. Now to hit the backboard, they want to fix up the 24-second clock, I believe. Out of bounds. Side out.
Excellent call by Jack Madden that time.
Dumars against the taller Drexler. Now Buck Williams is even bigger than that. Throws the ball away to Porter.
Good anticipation because they know that Detroit loves to swing the ball to the opposite corner.
Here's Duckworth. He's been hitting this shot all night. Misses, but Kersey is there for the putback. One of the few they've gotten that way.
Yeah, but you see, you must be encouraged. They're working so hard. They're getting the opportunity. The shots will fall, and when you're coaching, that's what you tell your team. Keep working this hard. Good things will happen for us.
Joe Dumars misses. Lane Beer puts it back on the weak side. And again, it's a 4-point Detroit lead. Portland trying to up-tempo because right now the score is more to Detroit's liking. Pick and roll Duckworth against Dumars, the guard, and he's got it. 14 for Duck.
I say, I love his game tonight. He is really aggressive with the basketball. Looking to score, wants to score.
Shot clock for the Pistons.
See, they're becoming more aggressive defensively, but they have to do a better job after Detroit misses that first shot.
Thomas goes in and is pushed down by Duckworth. That's a playoff foul and no hard feelings. That'll be Duckworth's 2nd personal.
Now you'll see he beats his man off the dribble. He's hit there, then that's a good one. You're not going to allow Isaiah to lay it up.
When you got it right, you got it right. Whether you're talking about this
on living room, but my skills on the hardwood are even better. Let's go back over to deck.
Thank you, JB. And of course, Duckworth with a good early start. This is his best start of all with 14 points already. And keep in mind, he's going to go to a nutritionist. He's very sensitive about the weight, but he's a fine young man. Came over from San Antonio in a trade for Walter Berry several years ago. Air ball thrown up by Isaiah Thomas, when was the last time you saw that?
Everyone in this building, and look at Zeke laughing. I mean, everyone in this building is smiling. I mean, they can't believe it.
Missed the second, too.
But once again, there's a Detroit guard to get that second shot.
Rebound by Drexler. Thomas missed badly. Here's Clyde, gliding all the way in. High score.
This is available for them. Anytime they attack and attack strong, they're scoring.
Dumars, the basket will count and a foul, and Joe Dumars with his first points of the game, and it comes at a big time for the Pistons. We saw their 6-point lead evaporate here.
See, now keep an eye on the baseline. You'll see Drexler trying to fight through the pick. There it is, and Drexler just pushes Mark Aguirre.
Drexler's first foul, and the penalty situation now for the Trailblazers. Next foul by Detroit will put him there. Aguirre off the ball, recipient of that foul, and it's now a 44-41 lead.
Well, they're going to set a pick on the baseline for Drexler. See what happens there.
Duckworth. Edwards. If it's Edwards, it'll be 3 on him. And it is.
See, every time Duckworth steps into the lane area, Edwards is playing him for the jump hook, and he's trying to block the shot. Now, in the early part of the game, he would fake it like he did right there and step under. This time, he brings it up in the jump hook position. Edwards fouled him.
I want to correct myself. That is Edwards' second foul. Right now, no one has 3 personal fouls in this game. John Sally replaces Edwards, who goes out having scored 8 points.
You know, when you look at Duckworth, you know, he's a second-round draft choice. He was 340 pounds in college. He's dropped 70 pounds. He's improved his game. He's worked so hard at it, and it's just beautiful to watch the contribution that he can make if you go to him offensively.
Missed the free throws, though. He's out of Eastern Illinois, one of many players with small school credentials on Portland. Sally gets inside. David Greenwood, who's just checked in for Detroit, picks up the loose ball foul. Greenwood played well in this series. Seeing a lot of action in games 3 and 4.
See, if you're coaching Portland tonight, you're happy with the way your team is working at the offensive end of the floor. You're happy with the aggressiveness on the offensive court. The thing which is standing out as the major weakness is they cannot contain the defensive rebounding. Now, sure, they got a loose ball foul here right now, but Detroit is smacking them around and getting a lot of second shots.
And if you're Detroit, you're happy that you are in a tight game on a team that knows it needs 3 straight wins to win a title. The more you stay with them, the better the Pistons' chances are.
Well, look, when we talked to Rick and his staff before the series started, he said we do not want to play an 80-plus point game. We want that game up around 100.
It's an 80-plus game right now. 6 on the clock. Dumars sets for the 3. Some of Detroit's shots from outside have been way off the mark tonight. Buck Williams. And they're going to call the push. Offensive foul.
So give Detroit a lot of credit, because since they've been out here, games 3, 4, and 5, they put their bodies in front of the penetrator looking for the charge ball.
3 fouls on Buck Williams. He's the first for either side to pick up 3. Cliff Robinson has come in for him.
The cardinal rule is when you're on the fast break, know who you're giving the basketball to. Don't give it to the big guys out past the foul line, because they have trouble dribbling and getting off a good shot attempt.
Difference of about a second or so between the shot clock and game clock. Thomas with a high arc.
Here they are again.
Aguirre. Greenwood taps it to Aguirre, and he's fouled. But again, Detroit is doing a tattoo number on the offensive board.
See, Aguirre's upset. You see, he's really upset because he got pounded that time. Now, you'll see. Now, watch David Greenwood keep this alive. He has done a terrific job in the action in games 3, 4, and 5. Now, what we're seeing is this total frustration by the Portland team in trying to rebound their defensive board.
Here's Aguirre on the free throw line. Foul was on Drexler, his second. 0.2 of a second remain in the half. do it. So the Pistons had a 4-point lead after 1 quarter, and they still have the 4-point lead. And Kevin Duckworth had a very impressive second period. That's the end of the first half with the score. The Pistons 46, the Blazers 42. Pat O'Brien will be along with the Prudential at the half after this message.
The Trailblazers are locked in a fierce struggle these days, but to a man, these players know this is nothing compared to the challenge one of their teammates faces every day. For Ramon Ramos, the struggle does not end this week or next. This fight will last a lifetime.
When the season began, Ramon was a promising rookie with the Trailblazers. But on December 16th, his dreams of a successful NBA career were shattered out here on Interstate 5 just south of Portland. That night, Ramon lost control of his car and ended up in a coma for 3 months.
In the days following the accident, the prognosis was grim, Ramon's mere survival in doubt. Now, barely 6 months later, Ramon is preparing to move back to his apartment in the next few weeks. Armed with his father's endless encouragement, Ramon is walking, talking a little, and learning to take care of himself.
The fact that he's improving now and improving so rapidly and has actually recovered fairly well at this point is, I think, in his favor.
He is able to communicate some of his basic wants and needs, and he's showing some excellent progress. I am very pleased with his progress, but it's still a long way from where he was functioning prior to his accident.
For Ramon, functioning always meant basketball. He was on Puerto Rico's Olympic team. Last year, he was part of Seton Hall's Cinderella season. Even though Ramos never played in a Blazers game, he was and still is very much a part of this team. With physical reminders and emotional ties, the Trailblazers always have a message for him.
I would tell him, you know, keep fighting, which he is doing, and keep progressing and working hard at what he's doing, and he's doing well.
Hang in there, and we're praying for you, and we just hope that you overcome this obstacle in your life.
While the Blazers follow Ramon's progress, he watches theirs. Recently, the old Seton Hall gang, Coach P.J. Carlissimo included, traveled across the country to take in a televised playoff game with Ramon.
Ramon, he like watch the game, the Blazer game, because he recognizes every player.
This weekend, I asked Ramon if Portland would win the NBA championship.
Yeah.
Yeah?
And do it soon.
They're going to do it soon. CBS Sports.
If that isn't a profile in courage, I don't know what is. When we come back here on At the Half, we'll talk live with Boston's Chris Ford and the new coach of the Lakers, Mike Dunleavy, as At the Half rolls on from everywhere after a commercial.
Lucas bats the ball away, keeps it alive, over to Warden. Lucas for the steal, Warden.
Walt Clyde Frazier. Frazier goes behind the back on Maravich, has the step, and beats him with the left hand.
NBA action has always been fantastic.
To the new kids on the block. In Boston, Chris Ford is now Larry Bird's coach. In Los Angeles, Mike Dunleavy is in charge of Showtime, and he joins us from Fort Worth. Gentlemen, welcome to At the Half. You guys...
Detroit, Isaiah Thomas with 20 and Kevin Duckworth with 14 are not only the leading scorers for the respective clubs, but they are the only players in double figures thus far. And we want to remind you that baseball returns to CBS on Saturday as the races appear to be heating up at all 4 divisions. The Red Sox against the Orioles at Memorial Stadium, and the San Diego Padres against the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium. Jim Cott and I will be there Saturday at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Jack Buck and Tim McCarver will be in Baltimore, so tune in to Major League Baseball and as it returns to CBS this weekend, Saturday. Start of the second half.
Well, a high pick-and-roll situation. Detroit has really been reading the mismatches any time of a double team.
Edwards going in strong to the hoop. Took a page from the Portland Trailblazers, who missed a lot of layups inside. He missed one.
You're Portland, you like to see more movement You like to see people go strong to the hole.
Dumars picking up Porter on the switch. The basket by Duckworth in the foul. He's now 8 for 12 from the field.
See, the big thing, Dick, is every time that they beat Detroit off the dribble, they've been able to hit the pass. Now, you'll see right here. Now, watch the Detroit defense come. Now, you see he's picking out Duckworth very easily. Porter is making the pass to the free guy because he's right in front of the rim.
Lane Beer with his third foul. So Lane Beer and Buck Williams of Portland have 3 fouls, and Duckworth with 17 points.
It's the first time that we've seen the full court press. A 1-2.
Lane Beer from the corner, and yesterday in practice, that's all the Pistons worked on, just like it was the first day of practice for a high school or college team.
Well, they know that the corner shot is open, Dick, and then also if it's not there, get the ball into the middle and look for the layup.
Williams inside. 4 points for Buck Williams, who's playing with 3. Foul.
See, if the big men will establish early in this quarter that they can convert the power plays, this will be such an uplifter for the Portland club.
Turnover by Joe Dumars. And an opportunity now, as Daly not pleased with the opening moments for the Pistons, for the Blazers to take over.
Well, neither coach is very excited about the fact that they're up in double figures in the turnover department.
Duckworth, see if he sees if the magic's still there with the shot. Crashing the boards with Drexler beautifully.
They should get out of the way and let Drexler take Isaiah.
Draws the foul. Isaiah Thomas. That'll be 2.
Like we said at the beginning of the series, that the teams that win the finals are the ones that make the quick adjustments, the teams that play intelligently. And by that we mean any time that you see a mismatch, a decided one where you know your guy can take advantage, you've got to allow that person to operate. Get out of the way and let him take that individual to the hole.
He said it all throughout the series as Drexler misses his 3rd free throw of the game, when Drexler had an opportunity against either Dumars or Vinnie Johnson. Wasn't always taken advantage of. Thomas gets the basket, and let's see, no basket, a foul, and Thomas has picked up his 3rd.
The Duckworth is doing a nice job in coming over and cutting Isaiah off and taking the offensive charge.
Lane Beer and Isaiah each with 3, and Duckworth stays red hot. 19 points, matches his season high.
They're doing a real nice job in recognizing what is going on. If Detroit continues to trap the pick and roll, then Duckworth is always open.
Timeout, Detroit. Are you surprised that they're playing both Lane Beer and Isaiah with 3 right now?
No, not at all, because they'll go until they get their 4th, and then they'll set him down. Chuck understands there's 2 horses out there right now.
Kersey, long range. And another rebound for Lane Beer. That's 9 now in the game. Aguirre. Now Portland.
The up-tempo now should favor Portland, but they must push.
Porter for a 3. That's his 2nd of the game.
It's nice to see him have the confidence that he would launch that shot off the dribble with only 2 white shirts over half court.
You know, he hasn't made a 2-point basket, but 3 throws and 3-point baskets. In and out by Dumars. Thomas caused the turnover. They got 3 on 2, Detroit, and Mark Aguirre throws it away.
Well, we just had 2 major turnovers, and Chuck Daly sums it all up right there. First of all, a bad pass out on the pitch out into traffic, and then you turn around and you have an advantage, and you throw a blind pass.
Duckworth's been a hot man. Lane Beer with Thomas. He's got Edwards and Aguirre. Low pass. Edwards lost it. Another turnover for Detroit. They're about even in this game. Porter hot for the 3. And Lane Beer now with his 11th rebound.
Now, if you're watching, you're saying, why? Why shoot all these threes? Well, during the course of the year, Terry Porter is excellent at that. And let's face it, without those shots, they never would have survived round 2, never mind round 3.
McGuire hits, but of course, round 3 is Detroit. And it's a little tougher than the teams they play. Round 4 is Detroit, tougher than what they played earlier. 1-point lead Pistons. Williams with a great pick on Thomas. Great pass, Porter to Buck Williams.
Beautiful pass. When you make the catch down inside, gather yourself so you can make a strong move.
Lane Beer has 5 boards. No one else has a rebound in this period. Dumar's foul going in, and that is the first foul for Portland here in the third.
Now here you have a pick and roll situation. Here's a good pick on Isaiah by Buck. Now as Buck Williams goes to the glass, look at the delivery. There's your pass. Isaiah behind him. Gathered. Strong move by Buck.
Second foul.
I want to go through all the abuse at some point. I know someday it'll break me mentally, and when I get broken mentally, it won't be effective on the basketball court. I have not yet reached that point. But I sat down with Isaiah, and he talked about numerous reasons why I should keep on playing. Monetarily is one of them. You can't make this kind of money anywhere else. And the second reason is my camaraderie with all my teammates. I can't leave them, let them hang at this point.
You'll see now on this shot attempt. Now just watch him working. See, we know that he's not a big jumper, but he is a contact player. You cannot be one of the great rebounders of all time in this league without accepting body punishment. And I love it when he talks about this team. Hey, we all have our roles, and we do them without complaining. Chuck Daly tells me, I'm the board man. I do my job.
Cliff Robinson is in the game now for the Trailblazers. He is the only rookie on either side in this NBA final. Joe Dumars having a rough time from the field and now struggling from the line. Dumars only 2 points. Vinny Johnson's been flexing that knee, by the way, over on the side. He has not come back in this half yet.
Well, Joe suffered in that first half. He was 1 for 7. Most of his shots were hard and off to the right of the rim.
Edwards meeting Duckworth. Knocked away by Edwards. Out of bounds. And it's a turnover, Detroit's ball.
See, sometimes Duckworth just gets a little anxious. You know, I was talking to him before Game 4. Just stay with the pass. We were discussing things. He said, yeah, I get excited because I know I'm going to get a good opportunity and I'm going to be played one-on-one.
Edwards lost the ball at the other end. Pass came in off his hand. Chuck Daly's Pistons in a tie, 55-55 with the Blazers with 6:15 to go in the third.
You were having very poor passing to post people who are open. You're getting an awful lot of turnovers on the initial pass.
Porter has hit threes and hits another one. That's his third of this game. 13 points for Terry, who's been a little quiet here in Portland.
Well, you know, he's been struggling from a shooting percentage-wise and then also from long range. And he's been guarding Isaiah Thomas, which has not been a happy time. But it's so nice to get him going because not only does that type of a shot, the long three, excite the crowd, but it also picks up the ball club.
Porter was 39% shooting coming into this game 5. 5 on the shot clock for the Pistons. Here's Aguirre. Robinson the rebound. 3-point lead for the Trailblazers. Duckworth didn't have control. Crashing the boards. You can hear the exclamations inside.
See, when you get rebounds like that down inside, the move has got to be a stronger move. You gather yourself that you take advantage of your upper body strength and you take the defenders right to the board.
And a push. That's Aguirre's third foul. And the third team foul against Detroit. Dennis Rodman will be checking in. And he'll replace Mark Aguirre, whose biggest scoring game was Game 1 with 18.
Well, you can see Cliff Robinson never stopped moving on Aguirre that time, down on the baseline.
Williams working against Lambier, who has 3 fouls. Loose ball, Cliff Robinson picked it up. Picked it up. And Lambier finally brings it down. Here's Dumars up tempo. Isaiah Thomas pulls up with it. Dumars and Duckworth. 5 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Dumars wants the 1-and-1. He knows he has the big man.
Dumars really having a rough shooting game. But there's Rodman. Edwards fouled. And fouled hard.
See, Detroit's not going to complain about that because he got injured right across the face that time on the hit. And nobody's going to complain.
And he's falling down. And his blood drawn. Above the right eye, timeout called Detroit.
Now you see, watch as the pass is made to Edwards coming down the lane. 2 guys get him. There's your first right there, and then the second as he came across. Now it might have been on the swipe by the player who came behind that time.
Buck Williams will be charged with his 4th personal foul of the game. First player in the game to pick up 4.
Part of his eyebrow. It did, in fact, inflict a deep gash there. The doctor says he will not require stitches right now. They'll wait until after the game. And I can tell you from the old street fighting days, if you get a good knock across the nose, that will force you and cause you to be dizzy and fall backwards, as James Edwards did. Let's go over to Dick.
Nah, not you, James Brown. 4 fouls on Buck Williams. And Edwards will go to the line. He's missed his only free throw tonight.
James has been struggling all throughout the playoffs. In this series, he's shooting less than 55% from the foul line. He's had an awful lot of opportunities there.
2-point lead for the Trailblazers with that much time remaining in the third period. Game number 5 of the NBA Finals, with the Pistons leading 3 games to 1 and needing 1 to wrap it up. Portland wanting to win 1 at home to stay alive. Here's Duckworth. Gets his own rebound and knocks it away. And it'll be a Piston foul, apparently. Or is it side out?
Side out.
No foul.
The ball was hit, and it went behind the backboard and hit back there. Consequently, you get the ball out of bounds on the side. That was an excellent shot by Duckworth and follow-up to keep the ball alive.
Portland's been a little cold lately from the field. Drexler takes care of that. They have missed 5 in a row.
See, we have not seen that explosion from the side area. That time he just made up his mind to take his man to the basket.
He's got 11 now, Drexler. Detroit starting guards have outscored Portland by 1. Vinnie Johnson will come in along with Sally at the next dead ball. 6 on the shot clock. Ball knocked away. Thomas fires a desperation 3, and what do you know, hits another one, and that is his 3rd of the game.
That's been the story of the series games 3, 4, and 5. The incredible ability to make the shot as the clock is out, and more important, for 3.
25 points for Thomas. Detroit's 4th foul. There's Vinnie Johnson and Sally in there now.
Now you see Drexler come off of the first pick, second pick. That's what we mean by stagger. Look at that step.
Edwards will go out and work on that eye, and Joe Dumars, who's having a kind of an off game thus far, goes out. Foul was on Rodman, his 2nd, 4th team foul against Detroit.
The referees are concerned with a lot of sweat that has happened right in the red area in the lane.
Sally on Drexler. good and a foul. What an explosion there.
That's his game, Dick. Anytime he puts it down in attack, even if you are with him, he has the ability to get so high up in the air. Now watch how he plays this glass. Look at that. He came right up underneath. Even if Sally stayed with him, he would have knocked him off the front of the rim.
Pistons in the penalty. Sally with his second foul. And it's a 4-point lead in favor of the Trailblazers.
It's always nice to watch an offensive player read the defense perfectly and then execute.
See how Detroit responds to this challenge. Thomas hits a jumper. 27 points now for Isaiah Thomas. Getting close to 3 minutes to go in the third. And Porter is hit and fouled. Sally, another foul now.
How about this? Now just watch. Watch how he takes a Spider-Man off the dribble. How about this elevation? Look at the distance. Bam. Beautiful.
Porter 4 for 4 at the free throw line. Clyde Drexler was in the middle of those slam dunk contests long before the Trailblazers became a finalist in this league.
That's right.
Rare miss for Porter.
Well, the people are groaning. You know, he's right there. He's 6th in the league in foul shooting, right at that 89% mark over the season. And then we all know that he ran the string 35 straight in the playoffs.
Pistons, knowing that Vinnie Johnson hasn't scored, Dumars has 3, and they're only down by 3 points now, 64-61.
If he watch Vinnie Johnson to see if he comes off of the picks gingerly. Now, see, he's hobbling.
Cliff Robinson is denying him anyway. Sally goes up, has it knocked away. Rodman, such an intelligent player, knowing great awareness where the ball is, draws the foul.
Once again, the loose balls that go to the floor, the blue shirts have dominated in getting to them in games 3, 4, and so far in game 5.
Effort play. Technical foul has been called against Jerome Kersey and Bill Lambier, a double team.
Lambier and the referee, Darryl Garrettson, having a few words. We'll see it right here. Up, there goes the ball. All right, Kersey hit him in the back of the head. So all you're doing is you're instigating, thinking, probably that's what Lambier said, but we might be catching the second part of the action right now.
Danny Young is in for Portland in the backcourt. Rodman only 55% playoff free throw shooter. Not better than he used to be, though.
See, sometimes he just gets up to the line and throws it up there without concentrating.
Missed them both. Had the ball and lost it to Danny Young. Portland by 3. Drexler again. Therefore, that time it was Sally with his defense.
Well, they got him on a trap. Did an excellent job.
Thomas loses his footing and goes out of bounds. Claims he was pushed.
Well, he was bumped on the dribble. But in this type of a game, there's an awful lot of bumping on the dribblers no matter where they are on the court. So it has been consistent at both ends of the floor.
Detroit not protecting the ball as well this period. Drexler, no basket, a foul.
See, in this matchup, Drexler versus Vinnie Johnson. First of all, he can't play him even if his knee was perfect, because he can stay with him maybe, but Drexler jumps over the top of him. Now, with Vinnie with an injured knee, it's almost impossible. Drexler senses this, and he wants the ball on a clear-out.
If you've just joined us, we're at the Memorial Coliseum in Portland, 12,000 strong. The Portland Trailblazers trying to draw closer to the Pistons, trailing 3 games to 1 in the best of 7. Detroit, knowing a win here, wraps up their second straight NBA crown.
In the second half, Portland doing a much better job on the defensive board.
Vinnie Johnson really doesn't have footing out there, fell down. Lambier, Sally the offensive board. Portland matching their biggest lead, established back in the first quarter. Thomas tries to force a pass. Here's a 4-on-2 break, for the Trailblazers, broken up by Dennis Rodman beautifully.
Once again, a careless pass.
2-on-1, Sally. Couldn't hold on to Thomas's pass. We are seeing careless ball handling. Vinnie Johnson is fouled.
When you're coaching a team like this, you just sit and you shake your head. I mean, we are seeing so many crazy things here in the open floor. A 4-on-2, we get a blind pass into a turnover at one end of the floor. At the other end of the floor, a perfect pass on a 2-on-1, missed. Here we have, now watch Rodman hustling. But you see, when you throw a blind pass, you're not giving credit to the defense that's hustling in transition.
Vinnie Johnson with his first point of the game. Dumars will give Isaiah Thomas a rest. Thomas goes out with 27. Vinnie Johnson, who scored 41 in the last 2 games, having a cold game thus far. 1 out of 2. 4-point lead, Portland.
They're trying to bring Drexler to the side. There you go.
Duckworth against Lane Beer, who has a few fouls. Lane Beer finally gets the rebound. 14.
When Drexler fed Duckworth, he went right into the middle so that he'd be on the offensive board. He had one opportunity there.
Rodman, good pass to Dumars and a foul. Both teams in the penalty now. And for Drexler, that'll be his 4th. So Buck Williams and Drexler both now hampered with 4 persons.
See, now right now with a minute to go, an awful lot of coaches in basketball, high school, college, and the pros would take out their star player now, hoping that he does not pick up his 5th. But when we saw this happen in games 1 and 2, Rick and the coaching staff at Portland, they have confidence in Drexler because they say he wants to stay on the floor.
Pistons really having a rough time from the line as a team tonight. Under a minute to go, 16 on the shot clock.
There's a clear out.
Drexler. A rebound by Rodman. Portland will get the ball back. Dumars in the crowd and a foul. And he'll go to the line to shoot 2, but this has been an Achilles heel for the Pistons. They are shooting 44% in the game from the free throw line, Hubie. Young with the foul.
Well, coming into this series, both teams were low foul shooting teams in the low 70s. But we have seen them get hot in different games and shoot up around that 80 mark. The thing which is interesting so far is any time that you're trying to come off of a pick and roll with the basketball, there is so much manhandling, bumping, and grabbing of people that they're not allowing anyone to turn the corner and get to the basket for an advantage.
This is not a game in which the 3 guards are exploding for the Pistons as they have the last 2. See if Detroit can win nonetheless. They're locked in a tight game, down by 1. They'll get the ball back, though.
But remember, the Portland coaching staff, this is Detroit tempo that we're playing at right now.
7 on the shot clock. Porter too far under. Rodman in the middle of it, and we're going to have a jump ball. Say, Rodman's ankle has to be feeling a lot better the way he's elevating and jumping around tonight.
This is a war between 2 really great athletes. Now you'll see this move right here. There was no shot opportunity. Turns behind the board. Now look at this. These 2 guys have been fighting every minute when Rodman is on the court. Kersey and Rodman. You just have to enjoy it as a fan.
Porter with a quick 3. Oh, yes.
And he wanted to foul. Thought he was hit on the shot.
He's got 4 of those tonight for 17 points. Vinnie Johnson to Rodman. No basket. Time is run out. Let's see if there was a whistle and a foul. Chuck Daly is going over to the scorer's table.
Chuck Daly, you could hear a whistle. Now, was that whistle on the floor or did it come out of the crowd? That's what Chuck Daly's all upset about, because they thought that they had a foul on Vinnie Johnson out high at half-court area.
An 8-point turnaround from halftime till now, and that's the end of the third period with the score. The Blazers 69, Pistons 65.
And again.
Soon as somebody touches it, you foul it.
For your copy of the official NBA World Championship video, call 1-800-683-9600. That's 1-800-683-9600 for the NBA World Championship video.
Only 20. Third quarter, 27 points. They are protecting the basketball, doing a little bit better job there, but the main emphasis is their defensive rebounding, doing an excellent in that area.
Outscored the Pistons by 8 at Portland, despite 39% shooting in the quarter. Danny Young and Terry Porter with Cooper, Kersey, and Cliff Robinson. Porter almost had a bank three that time.
And you know he called bank, right? Come on.
I heard him. Even with the crowd, I heard
players before the game were doing all of that, calling the shot when they were warming up.
Dumars and Vinnie Johnson with Edwards, Cali, and Rodman out there. 5 on the shot clock. Cali. Rodman tipped up by Cali. Pistons having trouble catching the ball inside tonight.
With this unit out there now, it's Kersey and Porter are your primary offensive players.
There's the shot clock up. Edwards pushes Danny Young, and that'll be his third.
Bad foul that time by James. Anytime you're out in the open floor, the shot clock is going down. If you make a switch, force the guard, who is much smaller than you, to shoot over the top. You're 7 foot with long arms. They're working hard to get Porter open.
He's open. Hits another. That's a 2-point shot. 19 in the game. He and Duckworth lead the Blazers.
Well, you know, Dick, this is the best that we have seen him shoot since the San Antonio series, where he had a lot of confidence, coming off picks, shooting a 3 off the dribble.
Portland has its biggest lead of the game. Edwards, not to be denied. Relentless, draws the foul.
I like his aggressiveness tonight off the dribble. Anytime that he's on the right side of the lane facing the basket, he's putting the ball down hard and taking it into the lane. If he goes for the left-handed little baby hook shot, he'll either score or he'll get fouled.
Jerome Kersey with his third personal foul, and here's Edwards. Like many of the Pistons having a rough night from the line. He's 1 for 3 thus far.
See, when he stands perfectly straight up, as he bends his knees, it comes up and releases the shot. The coaching staff of Detroit said when he follows through, everything is fine. It's when he ends up fading backwards is when he usually has the miss. Ends up fading backwards is when he usually has the miss. There you go.
He's been in double figures all but game 1. Waiting for his chance again is Isaiah Thomas. He's got 27, does he? Porter with a move against Dumars. Kersey blocked by Edwards. Goaltending called. Kersey gets the hoop.
See, on all the penetration, Porter's been able to get down inside and make the pass. Look at this pass. Now watch the pause. See the pause? He paused, gathered himself, Kersey, on that shot.
Joe Dumars with a stutter going in, blocked inside. Edwards follows up.
Now that's the way to get a second shot opportunity.
I think he's really aggressive. Well, you pointed out Porter misses a 3. Young. It'll go for it. Dumars wants a 20-second timeout. Got hit in the eye. And he's going to get it.
Well, they've been working him really hard off of all the picks. He's been working to try to prevent Porter coming into the open area off of 1 or 2 picks.
it's going to be a full timeout. A war of attrition. That's what this game and maybe this series is going to come down to.
We've been waiting for a long time.
That's where Dumars had the injury to his left eye.
So we have Dumars with the eye, Edwards with the cut, Jim Paxton.
Had a big scoring year here as a Portland Trailblazer.
Let's send it over to James Brown now. JB?
All right, Dick, not an awful lot of talking in the Detroit huddle that time. As a matter of fact, all the players know sign language. Assistant coach Brendan Malone did two things. He pointed to his heart, and he pointed to his championship ring, and he smiled at him. Let's go back to this.
That's all you need to do.
See, from now on down, we have 9.5 minutes, Dick. We know that there's going to be an awful lot of body contact, a lot of strong defense here, and now it's going to come down to, do you get the call or not? If you do not, you must adjust your game and play the way the game is called.
Portland resting its 2 players with 4 fouls, Buck Williams and Drexler. James Edwards off the fence, and Kersey comes down with it.
Hey, Kersey and Cliff Robinson are all over the place trying to help out defensively.
Three minutes gone by in the fourth. And Edwards with a hard foul on the Porter, and that'll be 4 on James. Last 2 have been kind of strange fouls for him, a push and then that one.
Right, you see, on that one, you have a guard driving to the basket. He's already extended his body, so he's not high up in the air. What you should do is allow the shot to be released, because you have Rodman in the game as well as Edwards to just come and take the shot clock. No need fouling, mainly because he's a great foul shooter.
6 out of 7 tonight. Dumars resting up, has scored only 6 points. Vinnie Johnson just 1. The 3-guard explosion has been missing for the Pistons.
He's been the heart and soul of their team tonight. Porter has really been going down the lane, making things happen.
1 out of 2, but 20 points in the game for Porter.
You want to play 2-man basketball. Isaiah and Edwards right here.
Pick and roll, not there. Vinnie Johnson not made a shot tonight. Danny Young giving Thomas this. Edwards goes up. They do not count the basket. It was before the shot. Wayne Cooper's foul. Look at Chuck. He doesn't quite see that.
Well, yeah, first of all, I didn't like the call. He wanted continuation. But you're happy with Edwards because he's not contented with the fadeaway jumper.
Vinnie Johnson hits his first field goal of the game after missing 4.
He's running gingerly down the floor. No explosion in his game tonight.
Rodman falls down. Kersey strong to the hoop. Rebound by Lane Beer. He's got 15 rebounds, matching his first game high.
See, Kersey's got to get back.
Vinnie Johnson hits another one, and if he gets cooking, Rick Adelman's got deep problems.
See, you can't lose your concentration now from now to the end of the game, because there will be fouls going on.
Offensive foul now. Kersey, and that's 4 on Jerome.
See, he wanted a foul on his drive to the basket at the other end. He did not get across half court when Vinnie Johnson hit the shot, and now he comes at the other end of the floor, gets an offensive foul.
Buck Williams, who comes in with 4 fouls, replaces Jerome Kersey, who goes out with 4.
Many times a coach in a situation like this will give him a quick breather, just to cool him down, let him regroup. Because we're right underneath 8 minutes now.
Vinnie Johnson gets his own rebound. 3 in a row for Vinnie Johnson, and the lead is cut to 1 now.
When he releases the shot, you must put your body into his chest. Block him out.
Porter, loose ball. Danny Young. Boy, we're really seeing helter-skelter passing tonight. Cooper goes up and a push by Lane Beer, and that is going to be number 4 on Bill.
Strong move by Cooper. Nice pass by Danny Young, seeing that Cooper was open and he had Lambier beaten in that area.
Nose is bleeding. We have had a lot of cuts and bleeds tonight. Dumars will replace Isaiah.
Let's see it right here now. See how Zeke gets it here. Oh, there it is there.
Flip Robinson.
Right.
Meanwhile, Clyde Drexler has replaced Terry Porter in the Portland lineup. Boy, Mike Abdenauer has been a busy man. Dr. Paolucci also has had a lot to do tonight. James Edwards got a gash. We saw Vinnie Johnson with the knee. Dumars as well. Who's going to be left standing in this one? Cooper misses both free throws.
See, they're 13 for 21. They missed 8 free throws. And when you think of all of the layup opportunities in that first quarter, you know, it's piling up here. You must make the foul shot.
Vinnie Johnson with Dumars, Rodman, Lambier, and Edwards stepped on the line and a turnover. Portland has Buck Williams, Kevin Duckworth in the game, and Cliff Robinson at forward, and they got Drexler and Danny Young at guard.
Remember, when you're in a close game like this, plus the game is under 90 points, you know, you're saying to yourself, you've got to make the freebies on the foul line and the easy shot opportunity.
Pass looped into Drexler, winds up on the floor. He's shaken up now, and Lambier has picked up his 5th personal foul.
See, this is 2 guys going for a lob pass. Depends upon the angle of the collision, where you're coming from. Now here, see, they're looking for a lob to Drexler. Here comes Lambier with the hit. Definite foul on Lambier in that situation.
Well, maybe a rainbow over Portland. Is that beautiful? Could be a good omen for the Trailblazers, but they are leading by only 1. We'll return.
Getting around anywhere these days isn't easy. Getting a long-distance call through on AT&T is, even from non-AT&T public phones. Just dial 10-ATT-0 and the phone number.
AT&T.
10-ATT-0. Just to make getting through your day a little easier. AT&T. How can we help you?
I've set the time machine ahead 40 years.
Cold filtered, never heat pasteurized Miller Genuine Draft.
Don't worry, Judy. I'm sure the future will be a very cool place.
For those who discovered its real draft taste, the world is a...
Yeah, from the Pistons bench, Isaiah Thomas, of course, the nosebleed, nothing serious. James Edwards, still a little gash over the right eye, nothing serious. On the Portland bench, Clyde Drexler, more a bruised ego than anything, and both trainers said, hey, nothing serious. Let's go back to Dave.
All right, thank you, James. John Sally in for Lambier, who's on the bench with 5 personal.
Next foul by Detroit is the penalty.
Drexler goes up. They're going to call an offensive foul against Clyde, and Clyde now has 5.
That's a tough one. See, when he went down in there and he went on the reverse dribble to come back to get the shot, Dumars was in front.
Keep your eye on Vinnie Johnson, who has scored 6 points here in this quarter, and gets a foul on Robinson here, and that's a tough foul when a guy is shooting so far out.
See, Cliff at 6'10", excellent quick feet movement, good defender, long arms. You just don't need that. Just challenge the shot, force Vinny to shoot the high lob.
Jerome Kersey will replace Robinson. And we now have a tie game with 6:34 to play. There's Kersey.
I love what Lambier said about Vinnie Johnson. You know, Vinnie would be an all-star on any team in this league if he was the go-to guy.
Take them both. It'll count, and the Pistons, after trailing by 7, have regained the lead by 1 with that much time remaining in the 4th.
Well, everything is in Portland's favor from a tactical standpoint. You're going to be shooting the penalty.
Buck Williams misses. Kersey the rebound. Let's see if it's on Edwards, and if it is, it'll be 5 on him. We're going to have some people foul out of this one before we're through.
Well, the majority of this game at the Portland end is being played from the foul line down, with an occasional three-point attempt by Derry Porter. But everything else is down in there, and it's causing a lot of congestion on rebounds, a lot of body contact, and then who is going to survive? When you get it, pump fake, gather yourself, go strong, you'll get on the foul line.
Trailblazers, but you got to make the shots when you get on the line.
Well, you know, the reason why we said it, this is their 9th miss, and you're in a 77-76 game.
It's a Detroit score no matter what what happens. It's going to be under 100 unless we go into double overtime.
Detroit loves this tempo. They're very methodical offensively. They'll run the offense to death.
Terry Porter back in guarding Dumars. Dumars off the glass. Another one of those shots. He got one with a second left on the shot clock the other night.
Well, you'd say that was a throw, except that he does it very often, so you know that it's a shot that he practices.
Rodman is on Curtis. No foul. Good call, no foul, but there's one. That may be Sally. Detroit is in the penalty. 4 on John.
Keep your eye on Dumars. Now, this is very good defense. Here comes. Now, watch. Boom. That is planned up high off the board.
Remember when he hit that shot, his dad had passed away on Sunday. There's George C. Scott, and you know what team he's rooting for. He wears that. His lovely wife, Trish Vanderveer, with him tonight. Sitting right behind us, as a matter of fact. Remember what Isaiah Thomas said? That wasn't you, Joe. That was your dad that scored that basket. Tied at 79, pick and roll. Sally all alone.
If you're going to trap the pick and roll, you must pick up the roll, guys. Not one Portland player was near him.
Double team, and Drexler's pass to Williams beat it.
I love Drexler down in the low post area, Dick, because he can shoot over the guard. But most important, when you double team him, he always gets the pass to the free man.
Isaiah Thomas nursing the bloody nose. Dumars into Sally. Smart play by Sally, had nothing. Double on Vinnie Johnson. Edwards has it stripped away by Drexler, and here's Porter in the open court. To Clyde. Foul by Dumars. And that was a smart foul by Joe. Maybe the only guy without foul trouble for Detroit.
Here's our man.
You know, that's the Trailblazers logo. How many times have you seen a logo on some guy's face?
Clyde really attacked.
Porter and Drexler have accounted for 37 points tonight.
What I liked about that fast break opportunity, Porter knew that when the defense cut off his lane, he had Drexler coming down the middle, delivered a nice soft pass.
Team fouls. Portland still has one to give. We've got a good one going, and we've already had 2 great games in this NBA Finals. Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown. 83-81 Portland trying to stay alive, trailing 3 games to 1 to the Pistons in the championship. Sally against Drexler. Beckworth the rebound. And a blocking foul called against Dennis Rodman.
See, Dennis is trying for the charge on every single dribble penetration. He'll rotate over, try to help out a teammate. He's taking an awful lot of body contact, but you know, the majority of them,
he is a good one on the line, although he's missed 2 tonight, is Terry Porter. Detroit has had a rough night from the line, and Portland is following suit. 13 of 22 for Detroit. 18 of 29 for Portland. There you'll see the numbers. One out of 2, and the lead is 3. Beer on the bench with 5. Edwards playing with 5.
Now you have to watch out for the high pick and roll for Vinnie Johnson.
Dumars. Duckworth with another rebound. Good outlet outside to Porter. Pick and roll. Here's Kersey in the corner. Rodman tips it to himself. 4 minutes remaining now in the fourth period of Game 5.
They'll take their time. Now, this is a one-on-one. If he feels he doesn't have it, you'll see Edwards come for the pick and roll. Here it is right now.
And a foul. Isaiah Thomas just looked at Chuck Daly and put his arms out as if to say, hey, how about now? I can go in.
Well, Chuck is playing a situation. He feels that Vinny's hot. Also, Joe is playing solid. It's a tough call for Chuck right now. You know, when you're coaching in a situation like that, you're going with your instincts.
Duckworth committing his third. Next foul on Portland will be the penalty.
Same situation now.
Thomas is getting up now. There you see.
Joe Dumars sent a pick down inside so that they'd bring Edwards, play 2-man.
Edwards. Loose ball, Williams has it.
Portland doing a terrific job in the last 3 to 4 minutes, holding Detroit to 1 shot.
Isaiah Thomas will come in. Next dead ball. Duckworth. A new playoff season high for Kevin Duckworth, 21.
It's nice to see because he was falling for the ball. He wanted that ball. And that was a tough shot because Edwards was right up in his face.
3 minutes remaining and a 5-point lead for the Blazers. Vinnie Johnson. Sally stuffs it through, and it's down to 3.
Sally came from the corner. He was running hard. Blew right by everyone for that one.
Drexler working in. What a play by Drexler on a reverse.
What a beautiful play. You can't play anyone any better than that. Dumars was right there, forcing the reverse.
Dumars. Rebound Duckworth. The lead is 5, and time is starting to run down.
Same thing now. You're shooting the penalty. Go to your strength right now, but don't allow too many seconds to go off the shot clock.
Lead inside, knocked away by Kersey. Buck Williams. Timeout, Detroit. Within 2 minutes, had to take it, which they did back-to-back, or piggybacked with Detroit, so now they have 3 and 1:20 remaining. One of the enforcers that we had on at the half with Pat O'Brien the other night, Maurice Lucas, guy you coached with the New York Knicks.
Maurice, one of the better defensive big forwards, you know, probably over the last 10 years. Not only an enforcer type of a player and rebounder, but also a primetime scorer.
Portland Trailblazers have been on a 14-6 run ever since the Pistons took a 1-point lead in the game, and they're really doing a great job off the defensive board.
Well, that was a terrific touch pass down underneath. They're holding Detroit to 1 shot in most situations and doing an excellent job in forcing Detroit to stay with the perimeter jump shot.
Bill Laimbeer with 5 fouls comes back in. So does Mark Aguirre. Isaiah Thomas is there with Vinnie Johnson and John Sally. That's the 5 in there for Detroit. Drexler, Porter, Williams, Kersey, and Duckworth for the Trailblazers. Basket will count and a foul by Vinnie Johnson. They got him on the side on that time.
Vinnie just blew by Drexler. That is Drexler's 6th foul. Okay, and yet he came to block that shot from behind.
20 points for Clyde, 6 rebounds and 4 assists in a magnificent performance.
This is a big three-point opportunity for Detroit.
Vinnie Johnson 3 for 4 tonight from there. And it's 90 to 86 with 1:50 to go. Danny Young replaces Drexler.
Well, let's see the ball movement now. In the last 2 minutes, everything is ball movement, setting up your key people offensively, and you try not to waste a lot of seconds.
Porter to Duckworth. Rebound, Lane Beer. 16 rebounds for Lane Beer. That's the best he's had in any game in the finals.
Look out now.
4-point lead. Vinnie Johnson hits the basket, and it's 90 to 88. 5 straight points by Vinnie.
Well, Chuck knows you got to get Vinnie the ball. He's hot right now. He feels it. That's why he's handling, not Isaiah Thomas.
It's all coming down to this for Portland surviving. Duckworth in and out. Lane Beer with another rebound, and now Detroit can tie the game. He'll be patient with it. Pick and roll. Under a minute to go. Ball batted away.
Excellent defense by Danny Young, knocking that one loose.
7 on the shot clock. Vinnie Johnson down the middle. Jump ball with Danny Young jumping with Vinnie Johnson.
Both coaches in a sweat right now. Yeah, I like Danny Young. He puts his nose in there. He's been doing a real fine job for them in these 3 home games. Right now we're hustling again. We have that same problem as we had in the first quarter, the confrontation of who gets the spot.
Jump controlled by Isaiah Thomas. 21 on the shot clock. Here's Thomas. High score at 90-90. Crowd quieting now. A 7-0 run here by Portland. By Detroit.
You have to look at them. Lambier says it, and it's really true. They're so tough-minded. They have incredible concentration, especially on the road.
Porter throws the ball away. 3 straight times, Portland has come up empty in 3 possessions. And look at the expression on Rick Adelman's face. Timeout called with
you. If you get a long rebound and you can go with the fast break. If not, call a timeout. We'll advance the ball a half court.
29 points for Isaiah Thomas. Quickly to James Brown.
All right, Dick, the only thing you need to know on this play is that Chuck Daly wants the ball in the hands of Isaiah. Let him create. He's the coach of the floor. Let's go back to Dick.
Thank you, James. Rodman will inbound. They are apparently not going to guard the inbound pass of Rodman. Here's Isaiah.
Well, they're going to run the clock all the way down. Now, everyone's on the baseline, so they're in a 1-4 set. That way, if Thomas beats his man...
Of a second timeout, Portland. They're going wild at the Palace because they are watching one of the great teams of recent years in the NBA, Hubie Brown, with their guttiness.
Well, that was just outstanding execution. They're relying on Isaiah to beat his man off the dribble. You'll see. Now watch as the player guarding Vinny. And we have Portland with 2 timeouts and a 20. Now you know that you can make a catch and you can get off a very good shot. Okay, the key is what's going to happen now of how they're going to open up that guy, whether they'll take him off 1 pick or 2 picks, how they free.
Here's a guy who wants to make sure that Champagne stays on ice.
And make the foul shot.
James Brown reports that the plan is to get the ball to Duckworth. We'll see.
Well, that means if they're taken out high, Duckworth is down along the left side of the lane right now. So Detroit must be careful. They're not playing the guy out of bounds. They're not going to allow a long pass.
0.7 of a second. There's the shot. And the game's over, and the Pistons have won the World Championship. Back to back. They are going wild at the Palace. Pistons have scored the last 9 points to win it.
Can't believe I'm getting champagne again. God, back to back champagne again, boy. You hear me? Again. God damn it, back. God. Where's Vinny at? Where's Vinny at? Yes, I see him. Yes. It's not cold. Again. That's two straight. God damn it. Come on, do some more. Woo! Hey, congratulations, baby. Hey. Back to back, boy. Two in a row.
Not only did the Pistons win their second straight NBA final and will be back here, but they did it by beating Portland 3 in a row on Portland's home court. We'll be back. The 21,500 celebrating the Detroit Pistons, back-to-back NBA champions. And right now, let's go into the Piston dressing room and Pat O'Brien.
They're all going, look at the palace, look at the palace. We can make some sense out of this. Here's the commissioner of basketball, David Stern, to present the trophy.
Get me out of here. Bill, for your first franchise in NBA history to repeat. You've got a great team. Congratulations to you, the Pistons in the city of Detroit, and all of these very nice people around me.
Detroit.
It establishes that a really great team, and to all the people back at the Palace, go.
Isaiah Thomas was unanimously voted MVP. Isaiah, congratulations.
Thanks, Pat.
Is this one sweeter than the last one?
Oh, yeah, it's much sweeter because we had our work cut out for us. Everybody doubted us all season long. And it was a tough road. Anytime you go back-to-back, we won the only 3 teams to ever do it in history. And this is a special team, very special team.
I can't see anything. Chuck Daly, come here.
How are you?
The Daily Double you got. Congratulations.
I got the Daily Double.
You've been hyping these T-shirts for a year.
I'm not worried about T-shirts. I'm so happy because we worked so hard, and I wanted this one more than any of the last 3 trips. I don't know why, just because I love it. These guys have worked so hard to do it.
Will you be back next year to try it again?
You never know what's going to happen. I don't know. I haven't made any decision.
What did you think when Vinny's shot went in?
Hell, he's done it all his life.
Gotta get your hair right. Wait.
Congratulations, Coach. We're going to go to commercial, and we'll be back from a, shall we say, exuberant locker room after this. Our friends at the Palace of Auburn Hills. And if you could hear them now, Isaiah and Vinny, they are screaming at the top of their lungs out there inside the palace. They got no team there yet, but they'll have one soon. Vinny Johnson, the hero of the game. It took you a while to find your shot, but you finally found him at the right time.
Oh, couldn't have came at a better time, you know, but I hung in there. I had guys like Coach Malone here who stuck by me 100%, kept on telling me to shoot it. Bill Lambert said, hey, I don't care if you miss 500 in a row, I'm still with you. And, you know, when guys tell you things like that, hey, you know, you get a lot of confidence from that.
How many times in your life have you looked for a shot like that? All the times on the playgrounds, you're talking it up, you're saying, Vinny, with no time in the clock goes in. How many times do you do that?
Oh, well, I tell you, I got good splits on my jumper, and I followed through real good, and it just fell for me. I was lucky.
Congratulations. Bill Lambert. Bill, get up here. Congratulations. Is this one sweeter than the last one?
Well, the first one's always the best, but this one was for us. Last year was for the organization, all the people
But this year was for all the players because we wanted this very badly.
What do you want to say to your fans out there in the Palace?
Back to back, and we're the world champions.
Let's go to James Brown and Rick Adelson. Okay?
All right, Pat, thank you very much. And understandably, a very subdued room over here, and I'm standing with Coach Rick Adelman of the Portland Trailblazers, and we talked at the top of the game about you reaching deep into your bag of tricks, and you went to the very bottom.
Well, we just, we had control of the game, and in the last 2 minutes, you've got to give Detroit tremendous credit. They made every shot they had to make, and we had a couple that just wouldn't go down, and it ended up being, Vinnie Johnson making a tough one at the end to win it. You got to give them all the credit in the world. They're the world champions, and they showed why they are.
No question that your bunch is a very classy one indeed. Again, you went your first full season here as head coach. Any nugget that you'll take away from this experience at all?
Well, I think so. I told the team afterwards, I don't think I've ever been prouder of any situation I've ever been involved with with this team. We play these guys and lose 4 out of 5, and 4 of the games are right down to the wire, and I think we're just starting to build something here, and we came so quick this year, and we did some things that teams have never done before, and what we want to do is come back to next year and respond to this. The team that beat us tonight had some failures in the past, and they did it, and that's what we want to do. We want to learn from this, but again, I don't want these guys holding their head down. They deserve a lot of credit for the year they've had.
From all of us at CBS, congratulations on a great run. Good luck to you next season.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, a very classy bunch indeed from Portland, a young team that will be heard from in the years to come. Dick and Hubie will be back with some wrap-up thoughts.
Louisiana, all the people who are really pulling for the Pistons.
I think the team was really pulling to get this one done today, really in deference to you, so you can concentrate on your family and go back down. Is that the case?
Yeah, I told them before the game, guys, I want to go home tomorrow and have this over with. I don't want to have to come back and play anymore. And guys dug down and pulled it out. I'm so happy we pulled through, man.
The entire country admires your courage. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Joe. Let's go back one more time here. What time is it?
It's hammer time.
Let's go back up to Dick and Hubie.
22nd Clubland.
All right, Pat, thank you very much. Hubie Brown, a fantastic comeback by Detroit. You've seen teams throughout your life. Well, how good are the Detroit Pistons? Where do they stand in history?
Well, defensively, they're going to go down, if not the best, at least in the same sentence with the best. You think that they played a high-powered team like Portland, held them 12 points under their average for the entire season. That's a tribute to their great defense. You look at the 3 guards. The 3 guards will go down also in history as 3 of the best ever on one club. When you think of not only the clutch baskets, but the clutch 3-point shooting, it's just absolutely amazing what they've accomplished.
It was a 5-game series, but we had 3 thrilling games, didn't we?
Well, a tribute to defense, excellent coaching.